are in the process of going to Italy. Hey guys, this is Devin. Hey guys, this is Dev.
And Sav.
And we want to take you along this journey of moving to Europe.
Today, we're going to be sharing how we got started. And we're going to kind of rewind it back before we even started doing the research. One thing we realized pretty quickly is that there was a difference between talking about moving abroad and actually developing like a strategy on how we were going to achieve this goal of ours. We created a system that actually helps us, and we are going to share it with you guys because if you're looking to potentially start this journey with your significant other and you don't know how to start, this video is for you.
Boom. Tip 1, get on the same wavelength.
Yes. Yeah, so the first step is obviously making sure that you guys get on the same page, right? So this is where you guys sit down and talk and say like, okay, like, is this something that we are actually going to do? Or are we just talking about it? Sometimes, it's okay sometimes to fantasize, and a lot of people do, where they just talk about an idea that sounds nice but don't actually want to put in the work to do it. So I think just having a real conversation.
Yes, finding out what your wants and needs are on both sides, and then seeing if you guys can blend those together where there's a good compromise in the middle, and then you use that plan to start really getting that process going to making it an actual thing as opposed to just a fantasy.
It's kind of just start like stating those expectations. Granted, not every little detail needs to be figured out in this stage, but kind of just setting like what your preferences are. Like if we move abroad, I rather live in, the city. Or, if we move abroad, I'd rather live in a farmhouse, things like that. Like having those conversations and kind of like what you're envisioning. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself abroad. What does that look like for you? Then open your eyes and then communicate it with your partner. That's what you got to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Tip 2, set the intention. Well, at the end of the day, it's sitting down, maybe the two of you, maybe you write something down, the other person writes something down. You guys get together and actually talk about it and have an honest conversation of what's possible, what's not, and then going from there, eventually things will work out. So that's, I think, a very important thing.
3, finances. Money, money, money.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is what this whole thing comes down to. How much is it going to cost? 1. And then 2, is this an investment together that we want to make, right? Yeah. So very early on, when we were doing this, we originally thought that we were going to do it through an LLC, which we ended up not doing it that way. But what we did together is we wrote what was that called? I think it's a certificate of agreement. Oh, if it's not right, I'll put the word here and like what it means. But essentially, we wrote down what our roles would be, because ultimately, yes, you guys are a couple, but this is a big investment. So you need to start viewing things as a business.
Basically, you got to look at everyone's finances, see what you guys can afford together, and that's really the most important thing, I believe.
Yeah, and also too, like if that day were to come, let's say tomorrow, and we needed to write that check, are you going to be ready to write it? Or are you going to be like, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. I got ants in my pants.
Yes, you don't want ants in your pants.
No ants in your pants.
Especially the red fire
red,
ants.
yeah. Ooh, not good. That moves us along to tip 4, which is dividing roles.
Divide to conquer.
So this has been actually a huge strategy for us that has worked really, really well in our relationship.
Yes.
I think we both understand each other's strengths and weaknesses, and how do we build off of that. So maybe someone focused on doing research for mortgage brokers, and then the other one would reach out to real estate agencies. That way, one, you're more productive, and two, like each person knows their responsibility, so that there's like no like question on like, oh, weren't you supposed to do that, or was I supposed to do that? Which
Yes.
kind of just moves things along so much.
Now, one key element though is we didn't completely separate it where we didn't talk about it. So like
Oh
whenever
yeah.
we would get like feedback from, let's say, a mortgage broker or a real estate agent,
Hmm.
then we would come together and talk about it from there. So it's really, you're doing two things at once, but when we would get feedback, we'd talk to each other about that.
Yeah. So when would we talk about these things, right? That actually leads us into tip 5, which is schedule dedicated time. Although I wish we could work on it every single day, that's just not what our life looks like right now. We both have full time jobs. We both spend time with our families. We both have friends. So realistically, life can like really get in the way, and sometimes that's what really prevents people or couples from working on things together, because they genuinely feel like they don't have enough time, right? So we made sure very early on that we would carve out time weekly, um, and we came up with a fun name and we called it Moving Mondays.
Yep.
So every Monday, after we get home from work, have dinner, kind of sit down and talk about, you know, any information that we need to keep each other updated on. Maybe we'll do research, things like that. So,
Yeah, and those sessions would last 1 to 3 hours, depending
mhm.
on what we were doing,
Or the week.
or the week, or like for example, sometimes maybe we were like, all right, we gotta reach out to mortgage brokers, and maybe that was my duty, so maybe I'd spend a little longer reaching out to those people, or vice versa.
Like look at both of your schedules and sit down and say, okay, like what day can we sit down and talk about this and do this, right? Like maybe it's on different days, right? Like maybe one person can only do something one day. So just sit down with your partner and talk it out.
Another thing I would suggest is creating a joint folder, if it be on Google Drive or any other type of like shared document thing. That's where you guys should put all your
Notes,
info and
yeah.
notes and stuff like that, just so it's easier for both you guys to access it.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Yeah, I think we're killing it.
We are killing it. We're destroying it. How many more do we have?
This is 6.
Holy shit, we got two left.
6, 7.
Oh, yeah, yeah, six. Number 6. Expect mistakes. It's gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah. This is just not even with this journey, like specifically, just like in life in general.
Getting deep.
Yeah. And I think to add to that is expect mistakes and then never blame each other, especially if this is new for both of you guys, right?
You may be going this way, but you actually will realize I'll have to backtrack and go that
Go
way.
that way.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you're going to make mistakes, you're going to change your mind, and then you're going to realize that some things don't work. And it's important to remember that you guys are on the same team. Definitely do not blame each other when things may tend to get a little hectic and messy. We had an issue recently, and we'll give you kind of a little update on our journey. Do you want to explain, or should
Yeah. So basically, we booked our flights,
I?
and then literally like a few days after that, we're talking to mortgage brokers, realized that we booked it
During
during a
one of
holiday
no, not just a holiday, one of the biggest holidays in Europe.
in Italy. But we didn't know.
We had absolutely no clue. We got a great deal on our flights. And yeah, definitely this like stressed us out a little bit because we were like, what do we do? Do we move our flights? Do we, keep them? Um, and it was no one's fault. It was just a complete oversight on both of our ends and kind of just was moved on and kind of was like, okay, let's just make a decision on where do we go from here.
Yeah.
Um, we decided to keep the flights.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be celebrating with everyone. But it's also one of the biggest tourist months.
Hmm.
So it might just be cool to see what the kind of city looks like when it's busy.
Yeah. And it's not going to be just busy with tourists. It's going to be busy with
Locals.
locals as
Yeah.
well, which is going to be an interesting kind of converge where you see the locals really celebrating and having a good time. And I'm actually excited to see how that goes.
So tip number 7 doesn't necessarily apply to our situation because we were both 100% on board on wanting to, move to Italy. But if your partner needs some convincing, this tip is for you.
Yeah, what's that tip? Have an open conversation. Be honest, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Try to figure out why that person, or try to figure out why your partner is a little hesitant and see if like if the reasons why they're um hesitant could be resolved, or like you guys can figure it out together, because hey, like maybe it is money. Like when you say you're going to move abroad, it just sounds expensive, right? Like what are you going to, you have to buy a place, you have to move all your stuff, what about your job, things like that. So it is definitely just like an overwhelming question. It's so easy just to say no, my life is good here. But however, if it's something that's really put strongly on your heart, and if your partner loves you, maybe then it's just as simple as having a conversation and trying to figure out the obstacles that you guys are going to face together and how you guys can navigate it, right? Maybe book a trip just like to travel there and see what it's like. Maybe that'll change their mind. Also, like,
you get them drunk and just convince them.
yeah,
And
have
then
them
all,
sign though. That's
and then
bad.
all you need to do is get them drunk for 6 to 8 hours, get them on a plane, get them over there,
Then get them drunk
get them drunk
again.
again,
Have them sign the
go
papers.
look at some properties, and then they'll just wake up in Italy not knowing what happened.
Yep.
Don't do that. But, I'll
Just
just,
have a conversation. We cannot guarantee that your part like your we cannot guarantee that your partner is going to be fully convinced. However, it's worth a shot, right? You are 100% of the shots that you don't take. And I think the biggest takeaway is make sure that you guys are setting time aside to talk about things. You guys have a strategy in place of who is going to do what. And don't blame each other, because this is a
journey.
journey and you're in it together. So rather than create rift and fights and
Create a
things like
bond.
that, create a hopefully these tips help you start navigating the process together. If you want to learn more tips or just follow us along on our journey, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and then also like the video because it kind of helps us.
Oh, yeah. See you in Italy. Ciao.